stick with one, I'm so sorry. First up, Lewiside. Lewiside makes such fun and unique Fakemon in a pixel art style.
Guys, we got a shout out! We obtained a shout? What? That's not practical. No, he means that another channel said that our channel is good. What? Yeah, look at this. It's like Mrs. the Popsicle, Do Popsicle or something. Huh? Oh, no, it's not Pops, it's Mrs. Do Pop. Oh, well, that was nice. We're practically famous now. That's awesome. Can we afford real voice actors now? Yeah, I'm sick of sounding like literally everyone else. Oh, hey, Gilly, look. She liked the one where you play through Fire Red. Yay, so all the abuse was worth it. Does that mean maybe you'll make more? Well, I said to myself that I'd only make more if people specifically wanted to see it. So if people do want to see it, I'll make more. And I don't suppose you've got any certain characters you want to be in it. Well, maybe you... Hey, I've got a cool idea. Why don't you add 3 characters at the beginning of every video, and people can vote for the one they want to see in each custom solo run. That way you can only make a video when you ensure that people will watch it, because people will vote for it, and people get to decide what character it'll be. Everyone wins! Hey, Gilly, that's a great idea! If you were real, I'd be so proud of you. Wait, so folks, if you want to see another custom solo run, here are your 3 choices for the next episode. You've got a duck, a pirate chef duck specifically, called Pasquale, a ghost called Spooks Jr., oh, and I guess Toe can have a spot as well, the electric alien. Rules are simple. If you want to see another custom solo run, comment what character you'd want to see in the next solo run. Keep in mind the game will be Fire Red. And if you don't want to see a custom solo run and you're only here for the Fakemon, well, chances are you skipped this intro already. I guess the way I'll do it is the first character to receive 5 votes will get its episode. Okay? Okay. And a very special thank you to Miss Do Pop for shouting out my channel. That was a super cool thing. If you like the stuff what I do here, chances are you like the stuff what she does there. She also creates her own Fakemon, draws a lot, and she seems like an awesome person overall. So, boom. Check her out when you can. But without further ado, howdy folks, and welcome to another episode of Making a Fakemon Region. Now, last episode, I made the Halloween episode a month late because I was ill, and now, well, we're pretty much going to do the Christmas episode a month late because I was ill then as well. It's funny because like the past 6 episodes, you do hear my voice get worse and worse. It's not a serious illness or anything, I just keep getting like just the tiniest annoying coughs will make it awkward to record because I'll be having coughing fits every 2 minutes and it sucks. So before I get another cough again, inevitably, let's get an episode sorted. So let's start this episode with a regional variant. For those who aren't aware, I'd recommend checking some other videos out on the channel. Feel free to do so if you want to. But if you can't, an in-regional variant is very similar to a regular regional variant. Just the idea is, instead of it being 2 variants in 2 different locations, in 2 different regions, the variants all exist in one region. There's a example here, we've got Rubine. There's 4 types of Rubine, all exist in the same region, just in different parts of the region, instead of it being 1 Rubine in 1 region. So what's the variant in question? Electic. Electic is a creature what was inspired by 2 of my fears, light bulbs and spiders. If you want to learn a little bit more about them and its evolution, you can check the Halloween episode, what I did a few months ago. Man, I'm getting sick of plugging my channel. But the main point of this creature was just that it was a spider what essentially creates a glass web around its abdomen, what gives the impression of a light bulb, and then it sucks out power of other living organisms to power the light bulb. It's a mix between a spider, a tick, and a light bulb, which, yes, there is already an electric tick Pokemon, but, you know, I think it looks relatively different enough, and by that I mean completely different. But, you know, whilst planning the Christmas episode, one design I had in mind when I first designed this, the original Electic, was that I wanted to make a Christmas light variant, because, well, Christmas lights are they're not important per se to the whole idea of Christmas, but it wouldn't feel like Christmas if there wasn't, you know, Christmas lights everywhere. And I mean literally everywhere. Visiting family for the holidays, I literally couldn't even open the door. There was just that many Christmas lights. I had to sleep on a bed made of Christmas lights. It was so hard to sleep with the lights on. I kept warm and toasty, sure, or at least I felt I was toast with the blinding red in my eyes constantly, but either way, back to the Fakemon. I also wanted to make a more kind of variant on Electic, because the idea is that, well, like a tick, it buckles into other living organisms. That will include, you know, things like me or the other Fakemon, you know, people. And I had this gross imagery idea that the ticks would bury their bodies, you know, their heads into you, leaving just the light bulb bit outside of you. So you'll know that you've been infected because your body wants to be covered in what looks like light bulbs. And for some reason that that just seemed disgusting to me. And I think it kind of is, to be fair. It was a Halloween episode. I think I did my job. So, since it was inspired by the holidays, instead of just humans, I wanted to create a variant what looked like Christmas lights, but instead of burrowing in living organisms, it burrowed in trees, which, yes, is a living organism, but not a aware of its own existence organism. Are trees aware of their own existence? I'll have to ask one when I see one. So when burrowing in the trees, I like the idea that it gave off the impression of a decorated Christmas tree, as, you know, they'd burrow in the tree, I guess to suck up the sap maybe, and it would, you know, power up the little red lights they have, so it looks like a lit Christmas tree. I thought that was a cute little idea. And then I like the imagery that instead of... I was a bit confused, because the Electric original colours had red and blue wires. I'm not 100%, I'm pretty sure that's actually incorrect to light bulb wires. Pretty sure light bulb wires work with red and black. The only reason I made mine blue was because I had blue electric fangs. I wanted the colours to fit in. So, when making these wire colours, I wanted to have a bit more of a reason for being its colour. Because I feel like the red and blue, yeah, it makes sense for wires, but not specifically light bulbs. I don't really want to change it because I think it works with the colour. I mean, I'm getting sidetracked today. Either way, I made the legs look a bit like tinsel. I also made its legs longer and sturdier because I wanted to make it look a bit more... I made the main body look a bit more... At first I wanted it to be woody, so it could camouflage into the tree. It now gives off the impression of like a gingerbread spider, which I kind of like. It feels a little bit, you know, Christmassy and magical already, so I like that. But that also gave the impression of a stick insect, and since the previous Electric was based on spiders and ticks, maybe this could be spiders, ticks, and maybe a bit of a stick insect in there as well. I'll also mention here, along with its evolution, instead of it being a light bulb specifically, I like the idea that it makes the case for its power, but maybe the trees it slurps up, like nectar or maple syrup from, maybe gives it too much power, to the point where the electricity in the bulb doesn't burst, but it's combustible and uncontrollable, so it comes more off a heat or like a flame, if you will. I believe the idea is if the electrical current, it normally produces heat, if it produces enough heat, it can start a combustion process where a fire starts. So instead of it being, it's probably still a glass bulb, what keeps in the power, but instead of it being an electric power, it's a fire power. So I guess it's type, I was thinking maybe fire and bug, but I like the idea of maybe fire and grass because it's now more wooden and it's a stick insect. Or maybe maybe the wooden coating isn't literally its skin made to look camouflage, it literally is just a wooden layer of some sort, right? Plus, I think that also gives a unique way to tackle the fire and grass type. I say that in this region it's a plant type because I changed all the types around. If you want to learn more about the new original types, check this episode out. Nailing! But one of the hardest things, I guess, Fakemon fans, designers, tackle is the fire and grass type. Will they make it a chili pepper Fakemon? That's typically the most common way, but I feel like a spider, fire, stick insect, light bulb thing is a unique way what realistically only my region could have came to because it's a regional variant of a previously electric and bug type. I think that's a cute little thing what only I could do, which is, as a designer, it's always kind of special to think that you did something only you could have really came up with, you know? I think that's sweet. Or am I being stupid? I feel like I'm a nice little mix of both. But either way, here is the regional Christmas light Electric, the grass and plant type. If I could add a third type, it probably would have been bug, but I'm sticking to the 2 types per rule, unless we're on about the apple witches. Check out the Halloween episode if you want to. I am so nailing these plugins. Either way, if you've seen the previous episode, you should know that Electric evolves into a Zapniv, a much bigger spider light bulb. Go figure. So here, not too much different. I wanted to remove the devil horns on the previous one because obviously, the idea was that its electricity got so powerful it started to melt the glass bulb, what pushed out to look like devil horns. I don't know if I mentioned that. The problem with me is that I keep forgetting important points what I should say in episodes, and since obviously I don't really return to certain designs once I've done them in that episode, I can't really come back to them. I probably will do a rehash at some point, but either way, since it's meant to be a more docile creature, more friendly creature, I wanted to make it not devil horns and maybe look like, since it is more a loose glass because of the intense fire inside, it's like a wavy type of glass, to give the impression of it is an actual crackling fire. It's not a literal fire, it is just on the inside it looks like it is, because it's a Christmas light fire, because it's not necessarily Christmassy in concept, but the idea of nestling by a wildfire on Christmas is relatively traditional. I did struggle with this design a little bit though, because although it's weird, because as someone who draws, you never want to say your trace, necessarily. I feel like a lot of us do it, but no one necessarily wants to admit to it. But when doing regional variants, at least with the original Pokemon regional variants, it's kind of expected that the variant's design, not necessarily trace, but should look in pose similar to the original. So I thought I could recreate that. But again, not necessarily tracing over the original, but using it as a base. It looks like I'm tracing it, but it's just there for a reference of size and things. I guess using it as a easier reference is a better term to say it. I got sidetracked incredibly though. The point I was making was that even though I had a reference right there, I struggled with this body type, because by the body type, the original Electric and Zapnid, I wanted, they were very small body but bulky, whilst I wanted these to be less bulky looking, but their bodies were a fair bit longer because of the whole insect idea. However, with the posing of the Zapnid, it was a bit awkward to make it the body look like it connected up to the light bulb with the longer, and then I didn't know where their head went. It was awkward. This might as well be my catchphrase at this point. If I had a plushie and you yanked on my chain, it's 99% chance I would say this: I am not an artist. With that said though, I didn't struggle on this design as much as I did the pipe up line or the elemental monkeys, but it was still a little bit awkward. I can't really comment on too much whilst designing these, because I did design these all the way back, I think it was like late-ish November. It was the same situation with Halloween, where I did plan on these monsters in advance, I just couldn't record to talk about them until, well, by the time you're seeing this episode, chances are I probably recorded it the day after it came out, the day before it came out even. Like, I'm pretty sure I recorded the Halloween episode the morning before I released it, I think. And it was just because I recorded everything about, you know, like weeks in advance. I couldn't record because of me coughing every 32 milliseconds. So it's a very similar situation here. I recorded these ages ago, don't fully remember the experiences doing them, but again, getting frustrated on this one. But I finished it, and I like how it turned out even. This is the Christmas light variant of a Zapnid. I like it. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really spoke about, although it's a regional variant, I haven't really spoke about where you'd find these. I guess the difference would be, I haven't designed a map yet. I'm doing the opposite of what regular Pokemon games do. Fun fact, apparently Pokemon designers, when making a new game, they design the map first, and then they design what monsters will appear in there. I think that's the case anyway. Here, I'm kind of doing the opposite, where I'm designing all the monsters, and then I'll probably design a map afterwards. But either way, I like the idea of maybe doing a winter forest type area, and these being there to keep the trees warm, maybe. Maybe it's a phenomenon where the trees don't lose their leaves in the winter because these bugs are sticking their heads in with their fire bulbs. Not setting fire because they've got the glass casing, but keeping the trees warm. Maybe, probably not, because I'm pretty sure the heat has nothing to do with the trees losing their leaves. Either way, let's go on to the next design. Now, so far this region doesn't have many ghost types. The only ghost type I've said so far is HUUUGE, and I only really showed it for like 5 seconds and then left it. Not a lot is known about it. So, let's add another ghost type. Originally, I wasn't going to make a ghost type. I was going to redesign an older Fakemon of mine. This fella, I never really gave him a name, I don't think. It was I believe a fairy dark type. And now that I think about it, I think this was before Impidimp in Sword and Shield. So, I thought of fairy dark types before they did. Sadly, mine isn't nowhere near as good. But either way, I still like the idea of having perhaps a gift box monster, just not necessarily with that design, because look at it. I like it, look at it. I combined that with the idea of, I had an old horror game idea. I say an idea, it's like 2 pages long, the entire idea. And it was just the idea of being, it was a gift what nobody wanted. You played as a gift box with a hole in it where you looked out of, and that was the gimmick, you could barely see. But the idea was just you had to look for someone who would actually open you up and love what was ever inside. I think it was like meant to be a teddy bear, but no one did. It was just a sad, depressing horror game. But either way, I thought let's make that into a cute little monster about a Christmas present, what an ungrateful child, neglected, and then that gift box got thrown out the rubbish, you know, got thrown out the window or whatever, abandoned, left to rot, and then eventually got possessed, and it walks the streets looking for someone to take care of it. And look, you know, people enjoy Bayonetta, Ghost Doll from Ruby Sapphire. There we go. But yeah, people seem to like that concept a lot, and that's similar. That idea is just, instead of an abandoned gift, it's an abandoned doll. So, here we go, abandoned gift monster. I like the imagery of, since it's like a traditional box with like a ribbon wrapped around it, but I like the idea that the child was neglectful by ripping the bow to see what was inside, and immediately hated what was ever inside, and then threw it away. So like the tear is still there, and it gives the impression of like a weird hand. And I guess now that it's possessed, it uses it as a hand. It doesn't walk or anything. It uses the hand to like scratch against the floor and then pull the box body around, you know? I thought that was a cool little imagey thing. It's funny because whilst I'm looking at the speed draw, it looks really bad until it gets colours. I guess it is, because it is literally just a box with a weird arm thing. That is funny. I tried to add a lot of... I said a lot of I tried to add a fair bit of detail in the colours to make it a bit more interesting than literally just a box, but you know. Everyone loves Voltorb, self included, and that is literally just a circle. I mean, that new Hisuian's got like indented eyebrows now, but either way. I also like the idea that if someone forcibly opens the box, whatever's inside will change. So the idea is however much the box likes you, every time you look into the box, it'll be something different. If the box trusts you completely, when you open it, it will evolve. Like a Togepi situation where like Togetic is just a more hatched out Togepi. The evolution of this guy will just be something coming out of the box. Maybe a Jack-in-the-Box, probably. I haven't actually designed it yet. I'll have to do a special evolutions episode where I add a bunch of evolutions to previously Mons. But if it doesn't trust you, or you're opening the box, you know, forcibly, you will see it won't evolve, but you will see its true form, and it's like a Mimikyu situation where it will give you a nightmare. Maybe not something as deathly as Mimikyu where you're cursed forever. No way, I think Mimikyu, you die if you see it, but this one, it'll give you a terrifying night terror, like to the point where you will be scared to go near gift boxes ever again after you see it. Make sure you look after your gift boxes. But either way, this is Neglift, a mix between neglect and gift. I did struggle on this name a bit because words like gift and present, or I tried to look for another word for friend and then neglected or abused or something. None of them really mixed very well, but either way, I really like this design. I can't wait to see what you think of it. Hopefully you like it, and I'm kind of excited to see what evolution it'll go. So yeah. Anyway, next one. Wow, I've rambled for a long time. We're already like 17 minutes in. Cripes. Luckily, we've only got 2 more designs, both of them relatively simple. The first one is a pixel type. Yay! Finally! Everyone seems to like the pixel type. Well, I guess this is just more the simple design of pixel types. I mean, I'm happy when I draw them, so I hope you all like this one. So, moving away from the Christmas as a whole and more just the wintry feel, I wanted to make a pixel ice type. Now, I was researching things of, you know, relations between winter or ice and computer science or digital. Couldn't really find too much connection. So I had to go a little bit creative with this, because a large part of being a pixel type is that they're manufactured specifically to serve a purpose. You've got Pidgeal and Distortion to send mail and data across certain parts of the digital world. I didn't even mention, if you're new to this series, check out the pixel type so you know more about it. Nailing these plugins. If not, pixel type are just types what exist in a digital part of the region, what is specifically a digital world. And the point of it is that you can only find pixel types there, but they're only there for a very specific reason, whether it's because they send data to be a mascot for certain things, or as a malicious virus to corrupt data. So creating an ice type wasn't just as easy as, I'll make a penguin because penguins are cool. I had to create an ice type what would realistically, people would specifically design for a purpose in this digital world. Otherwise, to them it would be a waste of money. In universe, they're only creating these digital monsters to serve a very specific purpose. They're not making, unless it's specifically as a pet to market, they're not going to make anything just so it can live, you know, because that's a waste of resources for them. So they wanted to create a snow monster because in this digital world, holidays are a big thing. And, well, if you can't afford a massive holiday to go to a sunnier tropical region or a snowier region, if you're into that, well, you can go to the digital world where they've got mini pockets on the side just for you. So they've got a tropical beach area and a snowy area. But obviously, they don't just make them, they make certain monsters what make the area around them into the area they want. Does that make any sense? If not, please feel free to comment and I'll expand on my reasoning. But either way, they essentially made a snow digital monster what would make the area around them snowy. So they planted like a couple hundred of them in an area, wait a few years until eventually the whole area was snowy because they were designed to leave snow everywhere and make the area around them colder. So they made a snow park, hooray! And, well, to make it, you know, they also made it all cute and cuddly because, at the end of the day, it also acts as the park's mascot. So it serves a purpose to mark it and to create the place, keeps it cold and snowy, so snowboarders and people who like snow can keep coming over. Again, I hope that makes sense. But either way, it's a digital snowman. They're known by design, they're meant to be curious, so they explore more areas and make them snowy. And they also love to play with snow. I won't tell you what specific monster it is, you will probably see it in this region eventually. There is another snow Fakemon, and it's implied that this design was modelled after that other snow design. So, there are two snowmen Fakemon in this region. This one is just a pixel version of the other. It's heavily debated whether or not this is a regional variant or not, but people probably, the science probably says not really, because regional variants imply that at some point they were the same, until evolution made them different, whilst this one was designed different from the get-go. Either way, I'm waffling way too much this episode, I don't know what's wrong with me. I haven't been able to speak in ages, my throat's been too sore, I'm kind of going off the chain. But anyway, this is Frozen, a mix between Frozen, kind of like snow, because snow, and Friend. He is a friend, he's friendly by nature, because he's meant to be a mascot to get children to play in the snowy area of the digital world. Yay, he's cute. Again, the point of pixel types is that they can only use two colours. Snowman was pretty easy because snow is normally white. A little awkward because at the same time, what isn't snow has a lot of colour, like the orange hat. The orange hat? The orange nose. I mean, yeah, orange hat and orange arms, but that's just because of there's no other colours to use. But either way, so let's end this episode with a Shushie. For those who don't know, again, please just watch the other episodes so I don't have to explain them. It's not even about plugging the channel anymore, it's just like so noiseless, explain everything. I'm joking, obviously. But either way, Shushie is a marketable Fakemon, what is essentially like a gacha machine mon where you pop a pound in and you get a random Shushie, and the point of Shushie is that there's one of every type. It's like Unknown, but instead of different letters of the alphabet, they're all different types. So for this type, we'll make the Ice Shushie. Now, I like the idea of it being an ice cube head and then have an icicle body, but when I drew it, I was like, oh, ice cream Shushie. Only problem with that is ice cream. For the record, there is an actual ice cream Pokemon out there, but it only looks like ice cream. It isn't literally ice cream because there's no milk involved, I assume. The point is that it's just an icicle with snow on it. However, I 100% wanted to make actual ice cream, but then that would imply that it was ice type and sugar type. There's a sugar type in this region. Which, the point of Shushis is that, except for a few rare occasions, Shushis are only one type, so I couldn't make the ice cream Shushie. At least yet. Yeah. So, I made an ice cream head with icicle hair, because I thought that was a cute little idea. Originally, I was going to make it like the water type Shushie, just literally frozen over, but then I thought, nah, let's make it a bit original. And I like how it turned out. I like how it looks kind of uncomfortable that it's cold, yet it prefers to be cold than anything else anyway. I like to think that if you keep one as a house pet, if it ever goes missing, you need to check the freezer first, because chances are it's just in there to chill out for a bit, if you get the joke. But yeah, not much to say. Here's the Ice Shushie. If you want to see the other Shushis, check out some of the previous episodes. Except, I think the cave one actually forgot to add the Shushie one, so oops. But if you want to check that episode out anyway, I think that's got some good designs. You know, I'm not one to toot my own horn specifically, but at the same time, you know, I can be proud of what I'm doing. Either way, that was the episode, and despite not having that many designs, I managed to ramble for over 20 minutes. I don't know how I do it either, or whichever way you want to say words. But still, folks, let me know what you think of these. Would you keep them? Would you abandon them? But in this case, I guess the glyph already got abandoned. But either way, do you want any on your team? What would you do with them? I'm curious. And if you're still interested about the custom solo run challenges, feel free to comment what character you want. Again, I only want to do them if I'm 100% sure that people will enjoy them. So even if it takes literally 5 years for one of the characters to get 5 votes, I'm going to wait that long until I do a video. So if you want to see your character voted, vote. Simple as that. But either way, folks, I'm going to plan next month's episode, what's going to inevitably get delayed 17 weeks because I've been ill again. It's been great to talk to you all again. Well, talk at you again. There's no really way you can talk back at me, but if you want to start a conversation in the comments, why not? Screw it. But either way, folks, thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're off to bed, have the sweetest of dreams. And I'll see you all in a bit. Toodaloo.